Hey folks, welcome back to Insane Job Jams. My name's Tom, and I'm a farmer. Some of you might think farm life is all about peace and quiet, with the rooster crowing at dawn, cows mooing in the distance, and me sitting on the porch with a cup of coffee. And yeah, there's some of that. But let me tell you, farm life also comes with long hours, unpredictable weather, busted equipment, and neighbors who like to brag. This story, it's about how a friendly argument with my neighbor Bill turned into the craziest competition of my life. A full-on harvest race, with the prize being nothing less than a brand new shiny tractor. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, buckle up, because this friendly bet almost broke me, almost broke him, and in the end, it built something even better. Bill and I had been neighbors for over 15 years. He's one of those guys who's always trying to one-up you. If I painted my barn red, suddenly his barn was redder. If I planted new corn seed, he claimed his would grow taller. We were friendly, sure, but competitive as two roosters in one henhouse. One evening, late summer, we were leaning against the fence between our properties. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange, and we were chewing on straw, like two cliches straight out of a country song. Bill smirked and said, "Tom, that corn of yours looks decent, but I bet mine's gonna be harvested before yours." "Easy," I laughed. "Bill, the day you out-harvest me is the day pigs fly over this fence." That's when he dropped the challenge. "How about a bet then? Same start day, no excuses. Winner takes home a brand new tractor. Loser pays the dealership." Now you've got to understand, tractors aren't cheap. This wasn't just pocket change. But pride? Pride will make a man say yes before his brain catches up. I spat in my hand, shook his, and just like that, the race was on. I figured it'd just be between us, a quiet contest. But small towns don't work that way. By the next morning, everyone from the barber to the grocery clerk knew about it. Suddenly, people were taking sides, like it was Friday Night Football. Half the town was cheering for me, half for Bill. Folks drove by just to peek at our fields. Kids were making signs that said, "Go Tom," or "Bill's gonna win." It wasn't just a bet anymore. It was entertainment. And we were the show. The big day came. Dawn broke, and both our machines were lined up like race cars at the starting line. My old combine rattled and wheezed, but she was loyal. Bill had a slightly newer one, shiny paint still clinging on. Neighbors gathered with lawn chairs. Some even brought popcorn. My wife kissed me on the cheek and whispered, "Don't let him get to you. Just do your thing." Then the engines roared, and we were off. Corn stalks fell in neat rows, dust clouds rose, and adrenaline pumped through my veins. And for the first few hours, I was ahead. Smooth sailing, until my combine coughed like a dying mule. I prayed it was just a hiccup, but then clunk. Dead stop. Bill rolled past me, laughing so loud I swear the whole county heard it. "Need a tow, Tom?" he shouted, grinning ear to ear. The crowd chuckled. I wanted to disappear into the dirt, but farmers aren't quitters. I grabbed my tools, dove into the guts of that machine, and worked like my life depended on it. Oil on my face, grease on my hands, sweat dripping into my eyes. It took me nearly 2 hours, but by some miracle, I got that old beast roaring again. The crowd cheered like I'd scored a touchdown. I was behind now, but not beaten. Just when I'd found my rhythm again, the sky turned black. Clouds rolled in, thunder cracked, and then the heavens opened. Rain hammered down, soaking everything. The fields turned into mud soup. Bill, stubborn as ever, pushed his combine harder, but soon enough his wheels spun helplessly, stuck fast. He slammed the steering wheel, cursing up a storm that matched the thunder above. Me? I slowed down, steady as a tortoise. My old machine chugged along, tires sinking but not giving up. Slow and steady, inch by inch. And right then, I realized something. This wasn't just a race against Bill. It was a race against nature, and nature doesn't play fair. By day 3, the storm had passed, but the mud remained. My back ached, my hands blistered, and I skipped meals just to catch up. That's when I heard a shout. A group of local kids came running down the road. One of them was my nephew, waving his arms like a cheerleader. "Uncle Tom, we're here to help." I laughed, but they were serious. They cleared stalks, carried tools, even ran water and sandwiches out to me. My wife joined too, bringing coffee at sunrise. Soon neighbors who had sided with me were helping wherever they could. I wasn't alone anymore. I had a whole crew. "Bill?" He waved off offers of help. "Too proud." He muttered, "I don't need anyone." But you could see the cracks forming in his resolve. One night, after a long day, I went to check my fuel tank. Something felt off. The cap was loose and the smell of gasoline was overwhelming. For a split second, I thought maybe, just maybe, Bill had tampered with it. But then I shook my head. That wasn't Bill's style, even if he was competitive. Turned out, it was raccoons. Yes, raccoons. They'd been climbing on my machinery, knocking things loose. The crowd laughed when I told them the next morning. "Even the wildlife's betting against you, Tom," someone shouted. It broke the tension, and even Bill laughed. That moment reminded me this was still supposed to be fun, though it didn't feel fun with my muscles screaming. A week in, both of us were running on fumes, and not just fuel. Bill's eyes were sunken, his beard patchy, his shirt soaked with sweat. I probably looked the same. We were neck and neck again, one last field each. The whole town came out for the final day, like it was the Super Bowl of farming. Engines fired up, and the race was on. My combine rattled like it was about to die, but I begged her, "Just one more mile, girl, one more." We cut through corn row after row, dust rising in golden sunlight. Bill pushed hard, but his machine overheated. I could see smoke pouring out. And finally, with the crowd counting down the last few stalks, my combine sputtered, groaned, and crossed the invisible finish line first. I had won. The dealership guy rolled in with a shiny new tractor a few days later, green paint gleaming, engine humming like a dream. They handed me the keys, the crowd cheered, my wife kissed me, and Bill forced a smile. But behind that smile, I saw disappointment. Not just at losing the bet, but at letting pride drag him through hell. And right there, I knew what I had to do. I held out the keys to him and said, "Bill, you need this more than me. My old combine's still alive. Barely. But she's got a few more years left. You've been struggling for seasons. Take it." The crowd went dead quiet. Bill's jaw dropped. His wife covered her mouth, tears in her eyes. Then Bill pulled me into the roughest, strongest hug I've ever had. That day, we weren't rivals anymore. We were brothers. So yeah, maybe I technically won that race. But the truth is, farming isn't about beating your neighbor. It's about community, about resilience, about giving when you can. That tractor didn't just plow fields. It plowed away years of stubborn rivalry. And to this day, Bill and I share equipment, help each other out, and laugh about the time we nearly worked ourselves to death just to prove a point. And that, my friends, is why farm life is never as boring as people think. Thanks for listening to Insane Job Jams. Hit that subscribe button for more unbelievable job stories. And remember, sometimes the biggest victories aren't about winning. They're about what you choose to give away.